Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to News Dose. And so the Capcom Spotlight took place yesterday, where they gave us some new details about several of their upcoming and imminent releases. And while yes, we knew about most of these already, there was still a few big surprises here, including a shadow drop the fans are very much excited for, and then also yet another big day one Xbox Game Pass game, because that's just kind of what they do. If anything, Xbox Game Pass has been nothing short of consistent this year in 2023, but we're going to get into all of that a little later on today. Plus, another big delay is seemingly inbound, and maybe even more significant than what was originally let on. Of course, though, before we get started, do hit those buttons below. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Honestly, it helps the channel a ton. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and in return, it's also a great way for you to stay up to date with all the daily gaming news. With that said, though, you know it. Let's just go and jump right into it. Starting off with Robocop Rogue City. This game was announced last year, and there was originally some excitement for this particular game. It's supposed to be a big AAA return for the beloved Robocop franchise. The visuals seem quite ambitious, and even the original actor Peter Weller is reprising his role as Robocop, which that's a pretty nice touch here. Fans of the franchise have to love seeing something like that. It is quite nostalgic, and I mean, if you grew up watching the old movies, yeah, there's a good chance that you might be excited for Rogue City, especially now that we've gotten a new gameplay reveal, which is the footage that you're watching right now, and then also, it just got a release window as well. It is now officially set for a September launch, so if you are excited about this game, go ahead and keep an eye on that September month. I want to know, though, let me hear y'all's thoughts on this gameplay reveal. I think that if you like the Robocop series, there's definitely a lot to be excited for here. If you're not necessarily into the franchise, though, I'm not necessarily entirely sure that the gameplay here will completely sell you on the game. But hey, maybe I'm alone on that opinion, so let me hear y'all's thoughts in the comments below. Next up here, though, and I don't think that this is going to come off as a big surprise to most people, but Square Enix has now confirmed their displeasure with the launch of Forspoken. This was a big AAA release for them that was heavily marketed by Sony for several years, so yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they had high expectations, as Square Enix often does. Sometimes their targets are infamously too high, but I don't think that that was necessarily the case when it comes to Forspoken per se. I feel like the writing was kind of on the wall here, that things did not go according to plan. However, they specifically pointed to its reviews saying that they were quote-unquote challenging and that its launch sales were lackluster. So there it is. Forspoken unfortunately just didn't meet expectations. And also do keep in mind that Square Enix absorbed Luminous Productions shortly after the launch of Forspoken, which, I mean, I think that just kind of tells the entire story here. We talked about this in a previous episode, but the way that announcement was originally worded, it actually confused some of the community, as people were celebrating, thinking that it was a good thing that they were being absorbed into Square Enix, but no, that was not the case at all. If anything, that was Square Enix's way of taking creative freedom away from Luminous Productions. It was more or less, unfortunately, a demotion. I mean, at the very least, Square Enix did retain the employees, which I think that's a good thing, but sadly, Forspoken will be Luminous Productions' last game, and it appears to have hurt Square Enix for the short term. Now, we also got another surprise for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They just dropped Wave 4 of their DLC Booster Pass, and unlike previous waves, they actually included a completely new original course being Yoshi's Island, and then also a new character being Birdo. Now, this came as some surprise because they weren't doing this with previous waves, but apparently this might actually be a thing going forward, as the character roster has now been updated with 5 mysterious slots included. You can actually see a picture here, and yeah, this further adds excitement to future waves for their DLC Booster Pass. At the very least, those last 2 waves will indeed include new characters, but this could maybe also be a sign that Nintendo is willing to put more original content into the game. It does seem like their effort has increased with each given wave, if anything else. Now, I have seen some fans speculate that some of these characters could go outside of the Mario universe. We have seen them do that with the Inklings from Splatoon and Link from Zelda. So, I mean, it would be pretty cool to see characters like Samus from Metroid. I would love that. Or Captain Falcon from F-Zero, because who knows if it'll ever get its own game again. Yeah, sad tears here. But Nintendo did later on clarify the situation by saying 2 upcoming waves of DLC are still to come, featuring more returning courses and characters from across the Mario Kart series. So here it seems like they're kind of implying they're going to stick with the Mario universe, but I don't know. I still wouldn't put it past them to have a shocking surprise somewhere along the way. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily get your hopes up either, but still, I guess we'll see soon enough. But I think the bigger question just kind of continues to be, how in the world is Nintendo supposed to top Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in the future? Now, that is going to be very interesting to see. Let's go take a look at the Capcom Spotlight, though, as they had quite a bit to show here. This was about a 25-minute long showcase, and it actually felt very similar to a Nintendo Direct and how their format works, which, I mean, honestly, that's a good thing. It's quick, to the point, and just packed with information. Now, for the most part, we kind of knew what was going to be here at the Capcom Spotlight, just because they did let us know ahead of time. They set our expectations just perfectly here. However, there was still a few big surprises. We'll get into those here in just a second, but let's start from the top as they gave some new information for Mega Man Battle Network Collection. I know there's some nostalgia out there for this series as these games originated on the Game Boy Advance, but what I really appreciate about this game is how much effort Capcom is putting into it, as they're stuffing this game with tons and tons of content that the originals didn't include out of the gate. As an example, they revealed here that this new edition will include 499 digital cards that were originally exclusive to the Japanese version. For the first time ever, those will be coming over to the West, though, and interestingly enough, you also do have the choice in turning these cards on or off. The choice is completely yours. They also announced a new game mode here, being Mega Busters, which amplifies your power to 100, allowing players to go through battles even quicker. So that's a nice little quality of life improvement there. And again, while this might not necessarily be their biggest game at this showcase, you can clearly see that they care about this game. So if you are interested in this one, it will be out on April 14th. Now, Street Fighter 6 also made another appearance here. Nothing necessarily too outlandish or anything, but honestly, I mean, this game truly does look amazing every time we see it. It just keeps looking better and better. But they did, however, talk about these commentators here, which, as the name implies, they commentate on your match while you're playing. It more or less puts you into the competitive environment that you see at different live competitions, and honestly, that seems to be a pretty cool touch here and adds just a little bit more hype to your overall matches. Of course, competitive play is huge when it comes to the Street Fighter franchise, so this will be a nice little added bonus. Either way, I mean, this game continues to look absolutely incredible and will be out on June 2nd. Now, next up here was one of the big surprise announcements, and that's that Exoprimal is now coming over to Xbox Game Pass day 1 on July 14th. I know, you just have to love being an Xbox Game Pass subscriber because it's just month in and month out. It is absolutely filled with all these day 1 titles, especially in 2023. They have been very, very consistent with these big releases, but nonetheless, I do think Exoprimal coming over to Xbox Game Pass is a smart decision by Capcom. And I say that because I think that this game needs more hype and it needs more exposure, which is exactly what Game Pass would give them. I will say, though, that I think the gameplay trailer that they showed here was probably Exoprimal's best showing yet. But truth be told, I think even with that, I don't think that they've shown anything thus far that has convinced me that this game will succeed as a traditional standalone release, hence why I think putting it in the Game Pass is a smart idea. I don't necessarily look at this game and think that it will come out and get spectacular rave reviews or sell millions upon millions of copies or anything like that. But at the same time, what I do think about this game is that it does look like it could be a good, fun game to play. I do think the gunplay looks interesting, especially in the trailer that they showed here. Again, I do think that it was its best showing so far. You have all these different mechs and you fight off waves of dinosaurs. It looks kind of goofy, but it also looks like it might be a ton of fun to play, especially cooperatively with a group of friends. And that's all the more reason Xbox Game Pass is the perfect platform to launch this game in. If you have a group of friends on Game Pass, you won't have to convince each other to buy the game, but rather, you can all just go ahead and download it and play it immediately. If anything, I probably wouldn't have purchased this game before, but now that it is coming over to Xbox Game Pass, yeah, I'll definitely have to go ahead and give this game a try, and who knows, it might be a big surprise hit when it releases on July 14th. Oh, they also gave us an update for Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. This is actually a remaster of a Nintendo DS game that released back in 2010, and a lot of people previously missed out on this game before, including actually myself. But I have heard several people consider this to be a hidden gem that deserves better, and actually after seeing it here, yeah, it does look quite interesting. The art style pops off screen, and it appears to have an interesting premise as well. You actually play as somebody who dies, and you have to unravel the mysteries of your own murder. Apparently this came from the Ace Attorney team, which has excellent writing, so yeah, that just makes it even more interesting. Ghost Trick, though, will release on June 30th for Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak also got its release date for Xbox and PlayStation as well. Of course, this game just got ported back in January, but its big expansion is now set for April 28th, and I mean, if you like Monster Hunter Rise, as we've already seen with the Switch and PC, this is a must-have expansion with tons and tons of new content. To end the Capcom spotlight, though, They left us with a nice little surprise, a bit of a shadow drop here. That kind of seems to be the theme this year. We saw one at Nintendo Direct. We also saw one at the Xbox Developers Direct, and I guess Capcom, they wanted to get in on the action as well, as they also dropped a Resident Evil 4 Remake demo. This is the Chainsaw demo, which starts from the beginning of the game, and there's no time limit on this demo at all. You can play it as many times as you want, and even better, there's no exclusivity to this demo. You can play it on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation right now. Yeah, let the hype commence for the Resident Evil 4 Remake, which actually releases in just 14 days from now, being March 24th. There you go, though. That was the entirety of the Capcom Spotlight, which, for what it's worth, I thought was actually pretty solid. Unfortunately, though, we do have a big delay to talk about as well, which is for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, to be fair, this hasn't been fully confirmed just yet, but according to Bloomberg sources, following the backlash to its gameplay reveal last month at PlayStation State of Play, Warner Brothers has internally decided to push the game back to the second half of 2023. They went on to say that the delay is necessary mostly to fix bugs and improve aspects of the game that were lagging behind and won't overhaul much of the core gameplay that had led to the backlash, the person said, asking not to be named, discussing information that isn't public. However, it appears there might be a little bit more to this leak, though, because the often leaky Jeff Grubb is at it again, because not only did he corroborate this report, but he also mentioned it might actually be worse than what is being reported here. According to him, he said, "I don't want to cause a panic or anything, but I've heard it's not even coming this year. I'm hearing 2024. We'll see." That stuff is hard to nail down for sure. I'll say that this source has always been a very good one. So yeah, unfortunately, it's not looking too good for fans excited to play Suicide Squad this May as originally intended. Now, like I said before, there's still not a confirmation on all of this, but considering some of the backlash from its previous gameplay reveal, and now we're also seeing from two different sources, yeah, it might unfortunately be true that it is indeed getting a delay. If anything, don't be surprised if something more official comes sooner rather than later. Now, most of the time when it comes to delays, I'd simply say, yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I don't really freak out about delays because ultimately I think that if a game needs more time, then so be it. And if that's the case here, again, so be it. But in this particular case, I don't know if a delay will change the end result. I don't think the problem with this game is necessarily its bugs or performance-related issues. Sure, that's probably not going to help things. But as I said in a previous video, I'm just not necessarily sold on this game, and that's because its fundamental design. It actually reminds me a lot of Crackdown, which honestly, I don't really care for Crackdown either. So from the gameplay that I've seen from this so far with that more cooperative aspect and everything, I just haven't been impressed by it. But I guess we'll see. I mean, I would love for it to come out and just prove me wrong. I hope it turns out to be a great game, especially for you fans out there that are looking forward to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Let's go take a look at the poll of the day, though, and with the Capcom Spotlight and the demo and all that stuff, I wanted to ask you all, are you looking to get Resident Evil 4 Remake when it launches later this month, and is it your first time playing Resident Evil 4. And as you can see here, 17% of you said yes, and it will be the first time playing Resident Evil 4. 34% of you said yes, though I played one of the previous versions. 13% of you all feel indifferent, still undecided. 12% of you said no, played one of the previous versions. And then 24% of you said no, not interested. So the real reason that I wanted to ask you all this, because yeah, I have a bit of an ulterior motive here, is because, well, there's actually spottings of Resident Evil 4 Remake out in the wild. Some people are getting copies of this game a little bit early, which means there's going to be leaks that makes their way online. And while a lot of people, I'm sure, view that as an okay thing because this is a remake and a lot of people have played it, as the results here show, there are still people out there that have not played Resident Evil 4. I've never really been a big fan of people spoiling things just because something has been out for a long time. You take a look at something like Final Fantasy VII as an example. I did not play that game as a kid. I didn't play that until I was an adult in like 2011, 2012 or something. But yeah, I didn't play that game as a kid. So people were kind of spoiling that game for years and years. And, it just kind of takes away from some of the magic for people that are just now being introduced to the series, especially now that you have the remake out there in the wild. So I kind of view the same thing when it comes to Resident Evil 4 Remake. If you do play this game a little bit early, still kind of respect people around. Don't spoil the game for them. People experience things at different points in their life. And just because you grew up with these games doesn't mean this next generation has, so let them experience it for the first time. That's all I really wanted to make a point of here. Anyways, though, that's it for this episode. But if you like the video, don't forget the bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for making this content possible. Peace out.